Hi Scorpio, and very very happy birthday for very happy birthday. So we are in Scorpio Taurus season, and it's going to be a very very interesting 3 months Scorpio we are ahead of. We are dealing with 3 months of moons that are all about new beginnings and endings, and this month especially there's a theme of starting something new, finishing something off, and sort of working with this energy. How we respond to the energy of the next 3 months is what's going to dictate our future that lies ahead. It's so much going to be about personal empowerment. So Taurus energy, personal self-responsibility, self-esteem, self-value. It's all going to be about these energies. So you get the Rider card. So it looks like you're propelling yourself to some new beginning, some new chapter. So beautiful. I had a feeling the last couple of months that was what was being asked of you, especially around the material world more than anything. So the best way to look at it, because see, sometimes we don't get the reading that we want, we get the reading that we need. And really what's been happening is we're all being led to change our relationship with how we're meeting our needs, how we're caring for ourselves, how we make a living. It's actually, Uranus and Taurus, opposite Scorpio. I mean, it's all really happening perfectly is what I'm trying to say. So have you been thinking, oh God, the readings are really boring. They're all about how I'm establishing my sense of security. It's happening perfectly. Because once we have that in place in a way that's more self-satisfactory, then we can begin to build on our needs for intimacy, our needs for love, but from a place where we're quite content with ourselves. Just keep saying to yourself, Scorpio, no matter what it looks like, on the outside, everything is happening perfectly. Okay? Make it your mantra. This is happening perfectly. So what you want is the Ace of Swords. The gift is the Seven of Swords. Now this is the gift. There's a lot of thinking going on. The challenge is the Sun. Yeah, you've got the Five of Swords in your relationships, guys. Okay, don't run away. I know it's very, because this is about new beginnings and endings. So I'm assuming the Rider, the Rider's in your work and money. I had a feeling because of the last couple of months of readings, but also the evolutionary intention and what we're moving towards as a planet. We all need to be caring for our pentacles, guys, okay? Relationships do look a little bit challenging. I'm not going to kid on. Six of Swords at a soul level, which is great because you're moving away from the Five and then you're going to the Moon. So I would say the Rider is about how you're making a living. The 10 is a completion card. It's the Wheel of Fortune. It's starting something new. It tends to be a very positive when you start the Wheel of Fortune. So it's exciting. You've worked for something, you've done the work of Saturn, and this is sort of Jupiter. It's the good fortune, it's Fortuna. There is definitely some challenges in your relationship dynamics, and I think that's why the Sun is the challenge, because Scorpio rules our deepest connections. It's intimacy. That's where it rules. And for a lot of people, I mean, to tell the truth, I think you're my 7th reading and everyone's got the 5s. It tends to be the 5 of Wands people are getting. So there's a lot of push and pull in relationship dynamics. There's a lot of there's quite a lot of challenge, and you've got the Five of Swords showing up here. So what you want is the Ace of Swords. So you want clarity, you want clear sight, clarity, a clear mind about the way forward. Now the gift is the Seven of Swords. The Seven of Swords is a card. I mean, this can be, I'm going to read it in its worst possible understanding. This is about deception, okay? Doesn't always show up that way, and it's not how I tend to read my cards. I mean, this is a story, and quite often the Seven of Swords is, shall I go back to these two swords? So this could be a relationship you're thinking about going back to, because this is the new life behind this sort of, you know, this archway lies the future, and he's not quite sure whether to go to the future or to go back to these two swords. And I can't help feeling this is a relationship thing. It might be to do with work. Maybe you've made some choice and it's like, oh, is that the right decision I've made? I mean, it is the right decision because the Wheel of Fortune, yeah, but there might be a little bit of mental interference patterns. So a mind interference pattern is, it's always guilt. Should I? Could I? It's the story we tell ourselves. And when we have no story that we're telling ourselves, we're free, okay? I'm laughing. The challenge is a Sun card, and I can't help feeling this is short because of your relationship dynamics. So the Five of Swords tends to show up as, it's either going to be conflict actually within your relationships, or this is a set of belief systems you're working with. So drama, we either transmute the situation within our own self, or we meet it on the external. When we're meeting something on the external, it's because we haven't quite got the lesson on the internal plane. So this might be a set of belief systems that you're working with regarding relationships, and it's a set of belief systems. It'd be like, you know, relationships always go wrong for me. There's always a winner and there's a loser. There's power imbalance that you're dealing with. Or there's a relationship you've been urged to keep walking away from, Scorpio, to tell you the truth. Because Five of Swords relationships tend to be based on winning and losing, one person's ego over another, so offense, defense, which, you know, all those shadow behaviors. And to tell you the truth, Scorpio, between now and January, how we deal with this desire to evolve is going to be critical. And, you know, I'm going to say something, and honestly, I'm so in this process. We cannot take people with us. We can desire people to move forward with us, to evolve with us, yeah? And we get into trouble when we try and force it. It's like, you know, trying to force a square into a round peg. And I've got a funny feeling that's what you're trying to do here. And it's because the Seven of Swords is a gift, because the Seven of Swords is a gift. It's probably saying the cut's already been made, but you're still looking behind you. And when you look behind you, you're just getting, the fives all represent Chiron, our deepest wound. And because it's in Aries at the moment, there's a lot of very, very wounded masculine energy. And it looks like that's what's showing up for you. I'm going to ask for an advice card, because my advice would be to... Now, I'm not saying conflict resolution isn't totally you know, two souls love each other enough, and conflict resolution is a fantastic process. Can you give me advice for how Scorpio should deal with this relationship dynamic? One card, because I think it's something that's that you already know and you already have clarity about. But so sometimes the Seven of Swords can be like, oh, I want to divorce this person, but I'll stay in it for 5 more years. Honestly, that is quite often how it shows up, because it's analysis paralysis. You're getting stuck in your mind rather than going, I know this is difficult. Sometimes we need to stand as a team of one, but I'm going to keep doing it. So your advice is the Emperor. So this could be someone that you're dealing with. This could be someone, this is a closed shop, by the way. This is someone who will not let people in. They're so rigid, closed heart. Because it's your advice, it's the Aries card. And Aries is always about self-initiation, finding one's own soul direction and propelling your destiny in that direction. It's funny because when we feel our life is stuck, it's always Aries and Mars we look to get things moving. So we look to the sign and house position and go, right, well, today I felt crap. I've got Mars and Scorpio. I woke up and did some readings. So I move my Mars, I move my energy. Because this is about, I think you need to keep walking. Or self-initiate. 6 of Swords is moving away from a 5 of Swords situation, moving into peace, and then you go to the Moon. So the Moon is about being in the unknown. It's about being in your depth. It's about, but the Moon's got a certain sense of stability and security, but it is about being in the unknown. And I think what you're moving away from is the 5 of Swords. Sometimes we don't see endings as gifts. So we stay, you know, we just keep going back and repeating the same pattern rather than going, you know, like when you're further down the path and you look back and you go, oh my God, if that hadn't happened, I would never have been here where I am now. What is that saying that I've seen when the 8 of Swords shows up? Thank you for not giving me what I want. I am horrified when I think about if I had got the things that I wanted. And there's an energy of continually to self-initiate, to direct your own path. And even if that means being in a little bit of uncertainty about the future, because that is the 6 of Swords going to the Moon card. But look, the Wheel of Fortune and the Fool and money and work. This is where your rider is. And sometimes if that's what's open to us, Scorpio, we take what's open to us. And it can be really, really tough to... Why is the 7 of Swords a gift? Because I think it's telling you to keep walking. Okay, yeah. It's with the Lover's card. You know, I don't love that 5 of Swords showing up for you around this relationship. And because Aries is the gift, this is the other person. The Emperor he's the opposite of Libra. If he's not someone who's open to the level of intimacy that a Scorpio is looking for. And as the advice, It's about personal self-initiating. That's what we all have to do. The nodal axis goes into Scorpio and Taurus in December. We're all getting forced into Taurus, which is, you know, Taurus is the bull. It's self-sufficiency, self-value, self-esteem, self-worth. That's it. And absolutely not allowing anyone that disturbs it. Because if I was sort of, you know, I win, you lose, or I got my needs met, but then you're left, or, you know, these people come into it, it's like, come into our lives just to get their needs met, and you're left feeling, oh my God, I didn't like that. And I think that's what you're going to get. Ooh, Scorpio. Please don't worry, darlings. You know what? This is, honestly, I swear to God, all I know, everything is happening the way it's meant to be happening. And the things that I've had to let go of, you know, absolutely thought I'd never be able to do it. But it's the only way we're going to be able to move forward, and we can't take everyone with us. And there's a little bit of a message maybe that there's a relationship dynamic where you're not going to be seen in the way that you need to be seen. And if that's your choice, it's people's choice until it's no longer their choice at the end of the day. I would take some, you know, the Six of Swords is moving away from the conflict and being willing to be in the wisdom of uncertainty for a little while until the new chapter arrives. And it's between now and January that there's going to be 3 moons that are total endings and total new beginnings. And it's that we've got to just keep walking, keep walking, keep walking, keep trusting, keep trusting. Self-esteem, self-esteem, self-value. And I even affirm I repel anyone who doesn't reflect my self-value to me. All right, Scorpio, lots of love, guys, and thank you for all your donations to the channel and comments, and you're what keep me going. Lots of love, guys. Bye.